Okay, I wanted to talk earnestly about something today that may initially come across as a little controversial, but I think it's an important conversation worth having with the audience. We're making motorcycling less fun, and it just kind of sucks. In today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about the ramifications that the internet has had specifically on motorcycling today. Now, don't get me wrong, the internet's done a ton of good for motorcycling. It's brought more visibility to the sport than ever before. I mean, 30 years ago, if you needed to learn how to adjust your clutch cable or figure out what tires were best for your bike, you'd have to, check out a service manual from the library or something, or have a painful phone conversation with the customer service agent from a mail order parts catalog or something. Old timers chime in, that was before my time. But today you've got YouTube with full resolution videos showing you whatever you want, forums that can access all the information for the bikes, and Discord servers with real-time peer-to-peer information. The internet's also made riding more inclusive. We're seeing way more diversity in motorcycling than ever before, including women, younger riders, older riders coming back into it. People from all kinds of backgrounds are getting into bikes because the internet shows them that it's possible. Fun fact, women riders are the fastest growing demographic in our sport. And that, of course, is awesome. Having access to a massive free online knowledge base has done wonders to ease the entry point into riding. I mean, it can be kind of scary jumping on one of these things and not knowing much. You can learn about bikes, gear, riding tips, license requirements, insurance hacks, and so much more, all without having to step foot into a dealership or spend too much time with the crusty old riding sage who is kind of like a friend of your uncle or something like that, or somebody that you know in your immediate life. Everything you need to know to get a leg up is available to you online, and that's great. But, and I'm sure you were waiting for the buts, the internet has also started ruining a lot of the fun. Bear with me here. This is what I mean. If you've been around motorcycle social media for more than 5 minutes, you've seen the ATGAT police. ATGAT, of course, stands for all the gear, all the time. This is a sentiment that most rational riders can't contest. You guys see, when I ride on this channel, I wear all of my gear, basically all the time. Gear is good, certainly, but the ATGAT police must be stopped. These guys are lurking every Facebook group, subreddit, and Instagram comment section, just waiting, salivating, teething at the mouth for someone to commit a gear-related offense. Instead of confronting a predator in the style of Chris Hansen, they're punching down on some poor kid who dared post a photo of them standing next to a Ninja 400 while wearing shorts. Like, they're not even riding the bike in the photo. And then they'll post a comment like, nice bike, kid, but next time, buy a cheaper bike and save some money for gear. I mean, come on. And it's not just gear or ATGAT people that are ruining the fun. There's a whole culture of espousing riding practices online. You've got proper shifting techniques, or one true safe way to corner, or the scientifically proven correct way to do a U-turn, and if you're not doing it, you're riding it wrong. Which, okay, sure, maybe a little hypocritical coming from me because we made some comments saying things like that, but you gotta play the game, baby! If you post anything, you're gonna get dogpiled by a bunch of terminally online people who have memorized every word and twist of the wrist too. It's kind of like Fahrenheit 451, but instead of your whole house burning down for harboring books, your social credit score is gonna get nuked when people find out that you don't have a CE level 2 back protector, or you're not reloading the shift lever when you ride. And please, don't get me wrong, safety is good, training is good, gear is important. We talk about that a lot on this channel. But when the culture becomes an echo chamber for virtue signaling and just espousing your beliefs onto strangers for some sort of strange self-serving ego trip, it kind of kills the fun. Here's the part of the video where I'm gonna get a little armchair psychologist on you. I might not be a licensed practitioner, but I do play one on YouTube. Actually, come to think of it, I've gone doctor, Spencer Gifts employee, World War I fighter pilot, but I don't think I've done psychologist for a list video yet. Maybe I need to add a tweed blazer to the prop department. Look, anyways, I don't think this attitude that has been so prevalent in motorcycling came out of nowhere. I think it's a reflection of the times that we live in. Younger riders especially are growing up in a world that promotes anxiety. There's a constant threat of economic uncertainty, wage stagnation is real, with people working harder and earning less now. The cost of living is through the roof for many, with the prices of food, housing, insurance, gas, electricity, all ballooning in costs year over year. That's stressful, that's hard. And on top of that, you're being bombarded by extreme, polarizing, world-ending news on your phone 24/7. I mean, how many bombshell announcements can one administration possibly make? It seems like it happens hourly. It makes sense that younger people are more cautious and risk averse. We've seen that time and time again. The anxious mindset that results from these circumstances bleeds into motorcycling as well. So instead of accepting that the risk and danger are part of the fun, a lot of modern riders treat it kind of like a math problem. Minimize every risk, eliminate every variable, control every factor. And when you mix that attitude with prolonged internet usage, you get this culture of hyper-cautious riders who seem to be less interested in actually having fun with their bike. And spoiler alert, I try to control for a lot of variables in my own riding too, but you gotta accept that you can't control for everything, and you gotta just enjoy the ride. And in a sort of ironic twist of fate, this anxiety-driven culture has, in my belief and opinion, created a polar opposite effect. On the one side, you've got the safety nerds we're talking about, dressed head to toe in overpriced climb gear, riding their motorcycle as they would drive a Prius, orgasmically deriving pleasure from following the speed limit. But on the other side, you've got the wild degen street squids racking up views on TikTok and Instagram. The guys doing stand-up wheelies with their S1000 RRs in the freeway, the dudes dragging knees on their local twisties, sparking off little things with their knee sliders, and the dudes with action cameras that want to go viral for lane-splitting traffic at 180 miles per hour. It's like the two camps are at war with each other. The overly cautious riders look at the squids and they say, "You're everything that's wrong with motorcycling. You're giving us a bad name." And then the squids flip up the visor on their AGV pistas and say, "Well, shut up, nerd, go touch grass." Meanwhile, there's guys like me in the middle that I don't think I'm a safety nerd, but I'm also not a complete nihilistic degen street squid. I just want to have fun at appropriate times and accept the risk that motorcycling seems to bring without being a total idiot. And again, I want to reiterate that safety does matter. Nobody, especially not me, is saying you should go get a $40 Amazon helmet and ride in basketball shorts at triple-digit speeds. But look, we gotta be honest with ourselves. Risk is baked into motorcycling. It's not a flaw, it's not a bug that needs to be programmed out, it's not something to be controlled for, it's an inherent characteristic. Call me a boomer unk all you want, but the risk is partially what makes motorcycling cool. It's what makes riding bikes exciting. To be able to toe that line of danger is part of the experience. If motorcycles were 100% safe, you wouldn't get the same adrenaline rush, the same sense of freedom. It would just be driving a car. It would just be a means to get from point A to point B, and by pretending that risk can be entirely avoided or managed and not just the best of our abilities, we're missing the point. Part of what makes motorcycles special is to say, yeah, this is pretty dangerous, and I'm gonna do it anyway, because life's short, so I'm gonna ride a bike. All right, wait, before you click off the video, this Yamaha R9 is a giveaway motorcycle. Head to the link down below and become a member before October 3rd to lock in your chances to win this machine. I've given away a load of different motorcycles over the last 6 years on this channel, and I got no plans on slowing down. Hit that link down below and make sure you got your chances locked and loaded to win. October 3rd is the very last day. The type of attitude we've been talking about today can be seen when a rider gets involved in an accident. Think of the double standard between a car crash and a motorcycle crash. When somebody crashes a car, barring extreme circumstances of super reckless behavior, most people react with sympathy. They'll say, "Oh, man, that sucks," but car crashes happen all the time. With so many cars on the road, it's bound to happen. Unless someone was street racing, texting, or just driving drunk, a car accident is kind of just deemed as bad luck. But when someone crashes a motorcycle, it's knives out, even amongst us riders. Every other rider becomes a crash investigator. They'll say their body position was all wrong. They didn't scan the road. Their injuries wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't have been that bad if they were wearing the latest and greatest Revit gear. That's why I have an airbag system on my bike, and that would never happen to me, and blah, 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 blah. It's like people can't accept that sometimes crashes just happen. That sometimes People have to learn a lesson the hard way. Not every rider who goes down is in need of a lecture. Not every crash is an extreme moral failing. Maybe there was gravel in the road, or a car pulled out in front of them. Or maybe they were simply just distracted because they were tired from work and on their way back home. Sometimes it's okay to say, man, that sucks to see another rider goes down. I hope they heal up and get back on their feet soon. People make mistakes. Dissecting the intricacies of another rider's crash doesn't mean that you, the spectator, will ascend to a higher rank of motorcycle enlightenment. This is a bit of a hard truth, but riders often have massive egos that ruin the fun for others in a handful of ways. We've collectively become obsessed with highly specialized skills. If you don't go to at least 2 or 3 track days a year, you're a poser and you shouldn't even own a sport bike. If you don't know your lean angle to the decimal, you're not a real rider. We treat advanced techniques that a lot of them aren't even that relevant on the street, like they're minimum requirements just to exist in the hobby. Rider ego also translates to an obsession with specs and performance. We live in an age where you can buy a 200 horsepower superbike off the showroom floor, and yet people will still tell you it's slow or underperforming compared to the competition. It sometimes feels like riders spend more time brand simping, brand hating, and arguing about torque curves online than they actually just do riding. It often makes motorcycle communities look like a baby boomer's Facebook feed. Motorcycling, which used to be cool, fun, and special, has now fallen victim to the prevalency of online culture wars. But instead of conservatives waging war against Cracker Barrel's new logo for going woke, it's a Suzuki Stan or a Kawasaki Kyle talking about how parallel twin engines are for homosexual beta males. That's not hyperbole. That's literally what they sound like and what they say. So why is this happening? My theory is that the current motorcycle landscape is being affected in the same way as many other niches or subcultures. It's a hobby that becomes intertwined with someone's identity, and then someone challenges the beliefs that you ascribe to it. All of a sudden, it feels like a personal attack. In decades past, motorcycling used to be a relatively inexpensive hobby, with both words being important there. Inexpensive and hobby. Bikes were cheap relative to an average rider's salary. The cost of owning and maintaining a motorcycle wasn't really a massive financial burden. And once you owned the bike, you just rode it. Whether you were a commuter or a weekend warrior, motorcycling was just something you did. Whereas now, bikes are expensive, as such as gear, insurance, and parts, and a culture of consumerism and comparison leads you to the belief that you must continue to spend money to get the full experience. So for riders today, if you're gonna go ride and undergo the financial stress that motorcycling has to transcend the realm of a hobby and become part of your identity. And when it comes to identity, people are way more likely to be defensive, uptight, and vitriolic to defend themselves, especially when they exist within divisive, polarizing communities where their beliefs are either challenged or validated by others online. And boy, that validation is a hell of a drug. So how do we fix this? How do we make motorcycles just a little bit more fun again? First, I think we all have to strive to find a balance. Safety matters, of course, but so does fun. Think of it like a spectrum. Ultra climb wearing safety nerds following the speed limit every single day, crazy ass Instagram squids who are doing degen behavior. You maybe want to find yourself somewhere in the middle, erring on the side of safety. Don't shame someone for not wearing an airbag vest on their Ninja 400. Encourage people to ride, encourage them to learn, and they're gonna make mistakes. It's okay, but don't make safety the dominant motivator. Motorcycles are dangerous. That's just a fact. It's like saying abstinence is the most effective birth control. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. If you want to be free from all danger, you probably shouldn't ride a motorcycle. Second, the culture of motorcyclists is in need of a swift ego death. Your lean angle, your lap time, your horsepower numbers, none of it matters if you're not enjoying yourself. Because guess what? There's always going to be someone faster. There's always going to be someone with a faster, more expensive bike, and there's always going to be someone with nicer gear or the latest helmet or the latest tech. Ride your own ride. Don't let others do the same. Don't enact keyboard violence on strangers because someone said the R9 is better than your R6 or that the 2026 Gixxer Thou is underwhelming. I didn't need that, okay? You can just like whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. Third, And maybe this applies to me too, because I live here on the internet inside of YouTube. Get off the internet every once in a while. The internet's great for a lot of things, but it's not the main stage of motorcycling. One quote that I think a lot about is from a book called Like, Subscribe, and Comment. It's the author talking about YouTube's path on the internet. And one quote that I think a lot about is he said that people view YouTube as the prism through which all reality is refracted. You have to remember that the internet is not real life. All the comments, all the news articles, all the videos you see, they're not real. You gotta go out there and make real riding friends. Go take a class. Go out there and get lost and leave your phone in your pocket and your cardo at home. Talk to other riders in your community face to face, and you'll realize most people don't care what jacket you're wearing, they don't care what bike you have, and they certainly don't care how much extra horsepower you gain from your exhaust. And finally, embrace the risk. Not recklessly, not stupidly, but honestly. Accept that motorcycling is dangerous, and that's what makes it cool, baby. Accept that crashes happen and ride anyway. That's the Sigma mode. That's the high level way to enjoy motorcycling, man. These things are supposed to be fun. So yeah, maybe online communities are making motorcycles less fun, but it doesn't have to be this way. Push back against the culture of defensiveness, anxiety, and ego, and remind ourselves why we started riding in the first place, because it's fun, and yeah, it's a little dangerous. All right, so what do you guys think? Is motorcycling culture getting worse, or am I just yelling at clouds over here being an old man? Let me know down below. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. As always, I appreciate you very much. I will catch you in the next one.